So I'm still getting through my stories about the irresponsible virus disinformation that's happening each weekend, and a lot of it is happening on Fox News. And there's so much of it, it's taking me through Tuesday to actually get caught up on it. So I want to go through a little bit of Judge Jeanine Pirro's show from this weekend on Fox News. Here's Judge Jeanine asking, I know people are dying. I know people are sick. But what about the rest of us? We just have to stay home. Another example of embracing the let them die strategy that we talked about earlier today.
Sheltered in their homes who've been patiently watching this unfold have seen the data, and the facts change from day to day. First, there were 2.2 million who were supposed to die in the United States, and then it was 1 million, then it was 500,000, then 250,000. And supposedly, mitigation was already taken into account in those numbers.
Okay, we have to stop. First of all, a judge using the word supposedly, come on, okay? And she's wrong. 2.2 million was the possible death toll if we did nothing. And this is a game that they're playing now to say, hey, we could have lost 2.2 million and now we might only lose 60,000. So therefore, Trump is a hero. 2.2 million was if literally nothing was done, which no president could actually get away with. It seemed like Trump was going to do nothing at first, but obviously he could not actually get away with doing nothing. It's a ridiculous bar to be saying we could have lost 2.2 million. Anything short of that is a victory by Donald Trump. Let's continue, though.
And we understand there are still many sick and dying, and density in hotspots are to be treated differently. But what about the rest of us? We want to go back to work, feed our families. And as the governors sit there and pontificate, we are the ones experiencing the reality that for every percentage drop in employment, there are 5,000 to 10,000 deaths occurring. Depression, suicide, domestic violence, child abuse, resurgence of alcoholism, drug addiction, loss of hope. Battered women locked at home with their abusers, abused children not being identified or protected because they cannot go to school. I'll wear my mask, my gloves, and I'll keep my distance, and I'll do the testing, whether to determine if I have COVID or whether I have the antibody. But don't you even think about tracing or tracking or giving me a card. It ain't happening.
If you're wondering if she's drunk again, I don't know the answer. Judge Jeanine appeared visibly impaired on her show a few weeks ago. It's less clear this time, but she's certainly not making any more sense regardless. People are sick and dying, but what about us? The answer is you get to live, hopefully. You hopefully don't get sick or die. That's what we are going for here. And Judge Jeanine continues with her rant, and she does seem more unhinged than normal, whether it's alcohol related or not. I don't know, but very, very unhinged.
Your models are out of control. The economy is out of control. China is the one that's out of control. We're not going to let you destroy this country or our way of life. We've worked too hard and we fought too long to lose it to a Wuhan. That's what I said, a Wuhan virus that China knew about, openly lied about, said it couldn't be transmitted from human to human, and intentionally protected Chinese citizens from the virus, but allowed that virus to be released, putting the rest of the world at risk. You want to control people? You politicians want to flex your muscles? Well, start working on how you're going to punish, ostracize, alienate, and financially sanction and make China accountable for what they did to us and the rest of the world.
Of course, the economy recovers. Dead people don't recover. Judge Jeanine, who was actually a judge once, which is crazy, is ranting in a way that's not that different from the guy urinating in the subway station while ranting about the second coming of Christ or whatever. Then we get to the cherry on top. Judge Jeanine actually brings on a protester. This is a protester from Michigan, and praises the protester, I guess, for putting people at risk of infection. Take a look.
Debbie Dingell, who is your senator, didn't have nice things to say about you guys. And I was rather shocked. Here she is, a representative of your state, criticizing this peaceful protest. And it was peaceful, saying it was inexcusable What are Michigan's reaction to her?
Well, I can tell you, look at Michigan, look across the nation. What we've done with Operation Gridlock and has ignited a fire that has spread across this entire nation. Arizona, Pennsylvania, Texas. I mean, today, New York, great example of gridlock, people rising up all across this nation.
All right. And, you know, a lot of people are very proud of you, Michonne, and what you've done. And let me just say, Debbie Dingell's a congresswoman and not a senator.
Of course, the issue isn't whether it was a peaceful protest. Again, they are just completely changing the parameters of the discussion. The peaceful nature of the protest isn't at issue. The public health risk of the protest is what's at issue. They called it Operation Gridlock. They are gridlocking streets and preventing patients who need care from getting to hospitals. And this is how the echo chamber works. We're seeing it happen in real time. Trump tweets about liberate Michigan, liberate Minnesota, whatever. Trump says protesters are being responsible even when they're not. And then Judge Jeanine brings on a protester and acts like they're doing some amazing principle thing when all they're doing is putting people at risk of getting the virus and compromising the long-term economic stability of the country. Remember, they're insisting that in the short term, opening will be good economically. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. But what we know from the 1918 flu pandemic is premature opening is bad economically in the medium term. And here you see Fox News sort of pick it up and carry water, openly promoting and supporting the protest against social distancing measures on which we are all relying to keep us safe. This is the situation in which we find ourselves. It's not a bad dream. We can't just wake up from it. We're dealing with this in reality. Let me tell you real quick about one of our sponsors, Cuts Clothing. They offer super quality men's t-shirts, and they're giving you 15% off when you go to davidpakman.com/cuts. That's CUTS. Because solid color t-shirts are a really important staple in pretty much every guy's wardrobe. I think it's really important not to overlook the value of having t-shirts you love wearing. T-shirts from Cuts Clothing have been a game changer for me. And as a company, all they deal with are men's solid color t-shirts. So they actually put a ton of thought into the comfort, the style, the durability of the t-shirts they make. They fit perfectly. They're not scratchy. They don't shrink, they don't fade, they don't stretch out over time like so many other t-shirts. They're really the most comfortable t-shirts I've owned, and they look great. This right here that I'm wearing on YouTube is the split hem crew neck t-shirt. Very soft, fits me perfectly. It's the ideal length. Go take a look at what they offer, and once you have it, you are really going to see and feel the difference. Their slogan is, "It's the only shirt worth wearing." You will see why, and you'll get 15% off when you do it by going to davidpakman.com/cuts. That's davidpakman.com/CUTS.